Catus, Maximus here, this time reviewing this classic Snap-on dog box portable tool chest. In the last couple of decades, they've been known as dog boxes because now Snap-on sells these with trolleys with pole handles on them, and they're a little bigger. They don't quite sell these. These are designed to be quote-unquote portable. They do have side handles. I mean, it is nice. That is actually a metal sleeve that's over the handle, so it doesn't bite into your hands as much. But it is hilarious that they're calling these portable. I mean, this is a 26-inch, which is actually a pretty standard size. 26s and 30s and 36s, but this is a 26 by 12 by 14. Obviously, this was Grandpa's. We can tell this is a 1953 to 1981 Snap-on logo because there's a little flag on the end. When you see this sharp, if it's like handwritten but bubbly letters, then that's like World War II or earlier. If it's this Sharpie logo, there's two different generations, and the second generation has a little flag on the end here, but the first generation does not. So that's how I know this is at least in that 53 through 81 time period. This looks like it came out of a movie prop or was used as a movie prop because you can't really make it up having the Edelbrock, Holley, Perfect Circle piston rings, and we got Sig Urson cams, Iskendria Polydyne cams, Mallard ignition, Valvoline, your obligatory STP, which for some reason is like on every toolbox ever. No, I'm not in California, but it does have some boat stickers, so this may have originally come from California, then they moved, and you never know how this stuff ends up. There were no Snap-on tools, it was just a box, so whatever family members or whoever inherited it decided to keep the tools, but go ahead and donate the box. There's a few thrift stores in my area, but the one that I found this as, one I don't go to very often, maybe once every month or two, just because it's almost exclusively clothes and furniture with just a little bit of housewares and dishes, old VHS tapes, some DVDs, but a nearly non-existent like tool and electronic sections. Decided to go by there anyway, just because I found a file cabinet once there and some other item I always forget. Anyway, not expecting much. Saw a big red box on the lower shelf and thought, that's got to be like some old Craftsman that's going to be bent the heck and back. Got over to it, started pulling it out, saw it was a Snap-on, and thought, oh God, it's going to be $300 at the thrift store. It was $50, and I just couldn't believe it. It's probably the best used Snap-on find at a great deal I think I've ever had, easily. It's also the biggest and heaviest Snap-on product I've ever owned. And I like the more vintage Snap-on. People say that Snap-on toolboxes are still basically built the way they have been for 75 years, but they charge a huge amount. The modern version has a trolley, once again, pull handle, and it's 4 inches taller, 2 inches deeper, and it's $1,700. So if Snap-on had this same size, the 26 by 12 by 14, it'd probably be $1,200 to $1,400 just for the box itself. It's kind of crazy. And yes, indeed, did have an original key, which is pretty cool. Might as well inspect the outside of it first. Their paint job is okay. Not the best, not the worst. This thing weighs 72 pounds or 33 kilograms. It is no mess around. I mean, these things being called portable tool chests, 72 pounds by empty. You load it up with all your tools, which you can put a lot of tools in this, and you could easily get this up to 200 pounds, 250 pounds. That's 80 to 100 kilograms. And it would take two strong guys. It would probably take 3 people to load it, unload it from a van or a pickup truck. A lot of people just got these as their primary toolboxes. Something crashed into it, or it crashed into something. It's not too bad, though. Definitely was designed to be portable. I was noticing, there's lice features. It's an all welded, continuous hinge, where the lower portion of the hinges are actually riveted, I think, are more modern Snap-ons, which is kind of weird. But I was like, what are these? Oh, those are just extra reinforcing feet. This thing is heavy. The bottom's actually in pretty good condition. But no, what these are extra rails. They help strengthen the bottom as well as make it easier to slide in and out of the bed of a pickup truck. So definitely is designed to be moved around for service technicians and you know, manufacturing plants, sawmills, aircraft technicians, that kind of stuff. But it's a brute. It's heavy. Anyway, getting into it here, it's one of these where you kind of pull it out and then lift it up like so. So, not a bad action. I think they like doing this better. You know, it's a little tweaked. We gotta get it to cooperate. Is that when it's closed, then this whole front panel kind of helps support the lid, but it is heavy duty. There's no question. There's reasons why it weighs so much. One of them is that we have a finger latch here, which latches down there, but there are holes on each side because there are these side pins, so that's pretty nice. If we look under here, we can see that we have a stiffening plate in the top of the lid, stiffening plate in the front panel here. Definitely pretty well made. The lock isn't great. It's a 12 wafer lock. I mean, it's better than like what comes on Kennedy's and stuff, to tell you the truth. And a Kennedy box of this size, about $800 to $1,000. These kind of boxes just aren't cheap. I suspect there was a lift-out tray in this area, but if it's no longer exists, and it's not all rusted to beans. That was like what I was stoked about. This thing had been used for 50 to 70 years. It's actually not bad a condition. And I don't mind ones that actually have the dividers. They just help kind of keep things a little bit more organized. So you can have this cover. You can kind of push it up like this and then use the lid as a work surface, but that's only if you have kind of shorter items. You'll probably end up having taller items that stick out a little bit and will go into the recess of the lid, and so you won't be able to do that lay down thing. Anyway, this is 2-inch dividers on a 2 3/4 inch deep, or 2.5 inch deep on this top chest. On these bottom drawers, it's a 2 3/4 inch with one divider. This is great for 1/2 inch drive deep wells. Will just stand in here. We have a 2-inch drawer, great for 3/8 and whatnot. Couple dividers there. And then I don't mind the selection of small drawers, because what we got here is we've got a variety of upper drawers, 7 of them. And what they are is we have a triple stack of 1-inch deep drawers, 2 1.5-inch deep drawers, and then these bigger ones are 2 inches deep. The drawers themselves are about 10.5 inches from the back of the drawer right into the little recess. I do like these. I have like a smaller SK that's just a 2-drawer version that's like a 16-inch wide or a 20-inch. But it has these little knobs you got to pull on. The same with the Kennedy. But I like the snap-on because it's more like a normal toolbox where you just have a nice big hooked area. So it's really easy to grab these drawers. They aren't ball-bearing slides, but I don't mind these kind of slides. To tell you the truth, you oil them and they seem to work smoothly. And to tell you the truth, for a toolbox that is meant to travel around in a vehicle and have heavy tools bouncing around, plus being in a much more gritty environment, toolboxes are in dirty environments, but portable dog boxes, when you're doing field service and stuff, get real dirty. I had to vacuum a lot of dirt out of these drawers. These non-rolling slides actually are a lot better because they'll just push the crud out of them. Anyway, just a video. There's not a lot of videos at all on YouTube. I mean, there is hundreds, if not, well, there's probably thousands of videos of snap-on toolboxes, if not tens of thousands. But man, you start looking just for like these larger size, like the portable tool chests, and a whole lot less people are making videos. They want to show off their huge multi-$1,000 snap-on rolling chests, but nobody wants to talk about a dog box or just these kind of more larger size portable tool chests. Kind of like these Kennedy machinist chests, just because they're so known for the machinist chests that there's more videos about them. But this Kennedy is just about the same thing. It's the same height, but this is only 8.5 inches deep. And actually, I got a good deal on this. I got that for $40. Needless to say, you don't find awesome American-made toolboxes for great prices on a weekly basis. At least I don't. Maybe some of my viewers in whatever area of the country they are in, maybe they're running into more stuff. But this is the kind of item that somebody who puts on Craigslist for, like I said, $200 or $300. All they do is look up what the modern dog boxes cost at the trolley, and they say, okay, so this must be worth $1,200 to $1,400, and I'll charge a quarter of that. And to tell you the truth, for a Snap-on, you're probably well within reason to do that. But me getting this for $50 is just incredible. I was super excited about it. Weighs 72 pounds, and I didn't even bother to go get a shopping cart. I just carried it up front and had my prize. They do some nice little touches. They have like these little fingers that stick out here, which interact with these holes here. Really pretty strongly built. I weigh over 200 pounds, and I can stand and sit on this, and it's on the lid, and it's just fine. So anyway, Gear Wrench, Grizzly, Kennedy, once again, Snap-on, Proto. A lot of the manufacturers still do make toolboxes like this, but it's really for people who really want one of those real professional tool brands, but they can't, justify the expense of a big one, end up with these. And businesses and people who do, service technicians is who end up with boxes like these. Sometimes people get them to add as top boxes for whatever chest they do already get, but it seems a lot of times people are either getting top handle ones, because this gets to be a little bit unwieldy, that's for sure. Once again, loading up with tools weighing over 200 pounds, you need two people to heave it around. But a lot of people are in fixed locations, and they just get bigger boxes as well. And that's actually the truth. On my local Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, or even like pawn shops, I'll see 10 rolling tool chests to every one of something like this. Easy. These just aren't that common, and I think it's pretty cool to have an old classic Snap-on. There is something to be said. People say that these older ones are a little better built. More modern Snap-on, they actually rivet the lower portion of the hinge. I don't know exactly why, but I like the continuous welded one. And I like these, normal slides in here. And I think this is just a real nice selection of drawers. A lot of them, they're either 5 wide drawers, or they'll be like 3, and then there'll be a couple sets of thin drawers. But for me, I like the organization ability of having all these extra drawers in here, various depths. That way you can sort out all the sockets and pliers. And if you carefully select what you're putting in a box like this, of this size, you could easily have a pretty comprehensive mechanics set. A 26 by 12 by 14 is a lot of space. Probably one of the worst criticisms. These were chrome-plated arms, but that's probably the worst flaking. That, and for some reason, around the Snap-on logo, I don't know why the paint is all disintegrated right around the logo, but it has. So, that's my long blabbing video about one of these old toolboxes. As far as I know, there just is no YouTube videos, or maybe just one or two, about these old vintage, mid-size tool chests or large size, portable dog boxes. That term dog box is really kind of stuck the last couple of decades once they started coming out with carts and pull handles for them, because it's like you're walking a dog. That's kind of what I term these now. If they're small enough to have a top handle, that's just a portable toolbox. If they're like this, where they can be moved, but they're getting to the limits of that being a practicality of like pulling on and off a truck on a daily basis, that's what a dog box or a portable chest is. And anything bigger than this is going to have integrated casters. There's something you can certainly do here. This is more than heavy duty enough for you to pull out the drawers and drill some holes and just mount some casters to the bottom of this, which I'm sure a lot of people have. And I think it's cool. It actually has genuine vintage, V8 part stickers. That's what all this stuff is. And I think that's pretty cool. It looks like it came, once again, right from a movie prop. So anyway, thanks for watching, and see you next time.